What's good, YouTube? Shalom, shalom, and welcome to the channel. Hawkeye Hebrew coming at you with my first Dune Awakening video. And for those of you that haven't played the game yet, maybe you're interested in the game, I wanted to kind of make a kind of basic tutorial guide on how to choose the class that's best for you, like the best starter class for you and how you want to play the game. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right out of the gate, the four starter classes are the Trooper, the Mentat, the Bene Gesserit, and the Sword Master. The class that I recommend to not start out as is the Trooper. And the reason why you shouldn't start out as the Trooper is because as soon as you finish the tutorial mission of the game, the opening tutorial, and you spawn into the Haga Basin South map, your character has increased water reserves, like almost a full bar of water. And what that allows you to do is you can look over here on the map and place a marker, and what you're looking for is the Griffin's Reach trade post, and you can literally sprint all the way over to that side of the map as a level 1 character. And you'll be looking for this building right here. This is the Griffin's Reach trade post. Once you get to this building, talk to the Trooper trainer, and he'll give you a quest that asks you to go kill 3 targets. You kill those 3 targets, come back, turn the quest in, and you have access to the Trooper immediately. Like, you can get this as early as you want to get this. So because it's so easy to get, I don't recommend starting out as a Trooper. What you typically want to do is grab one of the other 3 classes, Mentat, Bene Gesserit, or Sword Master. And then what that allows you to do is kind of double dip on classes immediately out the gate. So out of the other 3 classes, what class do you typically want to start off with? Well, if you already understand that you want to be a ranged class and use sniper rifles and assault rifles, the Mentat is going to be the best class for you. As a Mentat, you get access to the Sentinel turret. This thing does a lot of damage to unshielded enemies. Like in the opening zone, like the Haga Basin South, this thing is 2-shotting enemies, so it kind of helps you stay alive by providing extra damage. But then you also get the range damage passive here. You get bonus headshot damage from here. You get more rifle damage, more headshot damage. You get the assassination passive. Like, you get all of these passives that are going to assist you in your range gunplay. And then after you start off as your Mentat, like I said, you go get your Trooper quest. Once you get the Trooper, you get more range damage here. And then maybe you're not as good at hitting headshots. Maybe you want to focus on center mass. You could take this perk. And then the Trooper gets access to scatter gun, which is like your shotgun and your SMG. So it'll be a nice weapon to pair on your sniper class if enemies rush you. So that'll kind of be, these will be the 2 classes that you use as a range character. However, on the flip side, if you want to play more of a melee close quarter combat character, you probably want to start off as Bene Gesserit or Sword Master. As you can see, the Sword Master gets blade damage here, and then the Bene Gesserit also gets blade damage. They both have blade damage passive, so you'll ultimately end up taking both of these at some point in the game, but depending on which one you want to start out with, that'll kind of be the choice that you have to make. And then the main difference between the 2 is that the Bene Gesserit is more of a master at short blade damage, which is like daggers, and the Sword Master is better with swords and rapiers. So after you've been playing the game for a while and you figure out which of those type of melee weapons you want to focus on, you can focus on that from there. But as far as starting out, both of these classes are really good for melee oriented combat. And like I said, you're going to be using skills and passes from both of them anyway, so it's kind of a personal choice. But with the Sword Master, you get access to this knee charge skill. This functions as like a gap closer to allow you to get closer to the enemy. It'll stagger them when you hit them with the knee, But then if you need to get away from an enemy, it also functions as a tool to create space between enemies. Like you'll need to get away from someone. So this ability is really good, and it teleports you quite a far distance. But then as a sword master, you also get the field medicine passive, which gives you a better instant heal on your med kit. You get this optimized hydration passive, which gives you bonus stamina reserves when you're well hydrated. You combine that with disciplined breathing for increased stamina recovery rate, and then general conditioning for increased max stamina. So if you go to sword master route right out the gate, you got a lot more dodges. You're going to be a lot more agile. You got a couple of survival mechanics. So this is a really good class for that. And then as far as Bene Gesserit is beneficial also because you get bonuses to healing regen. You get another healing regen passive, and then you get a passive that just overall increases all self-healing. And this is something nice to also have right out of the gate. So then also with the Bene Gesserit, you get the Bendu Sprint, which is another movement tool, probably the best movement in the game, because this thing allows you to just dash across the map at rapid super speeds, and it's pretty cool. The other bonus of the Bene Gesserit is you got a lot of crowd control and CC stun effects to hit the enemy with. So maybe you want to play close range, but you don't want to use swords. Maybe you want to play close range with weapons. So you can start off with the Bene Gesserit, then go get your trooper, and you can combine a lot of the Bene Gesserit stun effects and the crowd control with the disruptor SMG from the trooper and the shotgun, which is called the scatter gun in this game. And you can have a close range play style with weapons. So how you want to play the game, that's ultimately going to determine your starter class. Again, sword master Bene Gesserit give you way better survivability and better movement early on, and then trooper will give you the ability to play close range with weapons. So you can combine Bene Gesserit and trooper, or maybe you want to make like a combination of, maybe you want a little bit of sword master skills with a little bit of guns. Maybe you can start off as sword master and combine that with trooper. So that's kind of how you're gonna be deciding what classes to start off with. And you're not locked into any of these decisions. This is just what you start off with. Ultimately, you can unlock every class in the game, and as long as you got space to slot the skill or slot the passives, you can mix and match from each of the 4 classes. So you can take one skill from sword master, one thing from trooper, one from Bene Gesserit. You can kind of mix and match it however you like. So you're not locked into this decision. Just keep in mind, the Bene Gesserit is locked in one of the higher end zones. If you don't start out as a Bene Gesserit, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to that location, but you'll ultimately get there anyway. So hopefully this guide helps you better make a decision on what play style you want, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.